welcome back to the most unprofessional sports channel on YouTube. Welcome back to Swivel Chair Sports. I'm your host, Zach Zuckerberg Burkle, here with the coach today, Aaron and Joe, resident Steelers fan. Go ahead and say hi, guys.
Hi.
All right, so the reason I mentioned Joe's a Steelers fan, make sure to like and subscribe, by the way, is because in this video, we will be talking about the new man in town, Mr. Unlimited, Russell Wilson, dangerous, signs with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm sure Steelers Nation is just ready to cheer their asses off for this man. So Joe, why don't you tell us how Steelers fans feel right now?
If he wins, we'll ride for the guy. If he comes in and looks anything like Denver and they losing like his first year, they're gonna run him out of town. That'd be his one and only season in a Steelers uniform. Other than that though, I'm good with it. I mean, the Broncos are paying the 38 of his 40 million that he's owed. I'm not mad at that. So give me Russ at a vet, man. I mean, he has more touchdowns last season than we have the last 2 seasons as a team. Every quarterback that's played for us we've done I think 24, 22.
Yeesh.
That alone, I'm banking on it. That dude throws 18 touchdowns. We're looking golden right there. So I'm good with it. We're gonna be running a lot of play action. We're gonna be running the ball. If Russ can do, not even Seattle Russ, if he can do what he just did last year, I'm good with it. For 1.2 million, I'll take that.
Yeah, definitely a bargain for y'all. I mean, Super Bowl winning quarterback and a vet man that might still have a little bit left in the tank and definitely has a lot to prove. Could end up working out really well for you. Aaron, how disappointed are you that Russ is out of the division?
Uh,
Sorry,
I don't really. I don't know. I don't think he really got a fair chance to succeed.
yeah.
That first year was just a wash with how bad that team was, and then I don't think he played all that bad last year. I just don't think him and Peyton's play style really matched up.
He didn't play bad.
The real
I don't think he
story
played
is, yeah, I mean, he didn't play up to his, Seattle years, but he was decent enough. He didn't turn the ball over a whole lot. There were a couple end of game situations that people were talking about last year. Um, but that just happens.
Yeah.
The real story, I think, is the Steelers losing one of their best players, in Mitch Trubisky, and having to replace him with Russell Wilson. I think that's a real big loss for Steelers Nation, and one that's gonna hurt them for years to come.
Hey, but it does signify that Josh Allen is probably out of Buffalo, so there is that to look forward to.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, he was drafted before Mahomes. He's got to be better than him, right?
That is true. That is true. Pro Bowl quarterback. Literally,
Pro Bowl quarterback.
Literally a Pro Bowl quarterback. Mitch Trubisky is.
Led the Bears to the playoffs, right?
He did. He did do that, I believe. Maybe. I'm not sure, to be honest with you, but possible.
Behind like the best defense they've had since the '85 Bears.
Details.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, looking forward to see what Russ can do for the Pittsburgh Steelers for sure. I think
Who's he gonna throw to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Where's
an
that ball
interesting
going?
question. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, Joe. I'm not sure.
George
Aaron.
Pickens and Pat Freiermuth, right?
George Pickens, Pat Freiermuth. Maybe Najee Harris decides to get out there and out wide and run a few routes because breaking news before we started recording, Diontae Johnson has been traded to the Carolina Panthers, and in addition to a 7th round pick in exchange for cornerback Diontae Jackson and a 6th round pick. So, yeah, Bryce Young getting a target to throw to down there in Carolina. Meanwhile, the Pittsburgh Steelers just can continue to build up that defense, baby, even though that is not the problem with the team. So, in addition to that, they also signed Patrick Queen this week.
Yeah.
To which I actually love that signing personally. But Joe, what do you think about the Steelers' efforts of furthering improving on already NFL top defense instead of, maybe improving one of the NFL's worst offenses?
You can't lose if the other team can't score. Okay, I
That's
mean
true.
that's what
That's
we're
true.
looking at it like. As long as we hold them to nothing, we can't lose the game.
That's fair.
But and I'm a miss Diontae. I was a really big Diontae fan. He had his problems with drops. I get that. It looked like Pickens would be the one. So I mean, the only way I'm gonna trust Tomlin. He keeps proving him wrong. He gets us there. So I'm gonna trust something good comes out of this because we let Deontay go and we have some cap space left. Like I'm hoping maybe that's going towards, if not a receiver, it better go towards freaking Tyron Smith or some old lineman that's out there.
Yeah.
That because our old line was awful.
Yeah.
So I mean, it better go towards the offense. That's all I'm saying. I think we're solidified defense. Patrick Queen, I'm hyped about.
Mm,
Um, we do need to remember though, he did just have his best season, but it was next to Roquan Smith. I think that needs to be out there. It's different when you have two guys at that level playing with each other versus you being the only guy. So we'll see how that one turns out. But nonetheless, we still have the should have been defensive player of the year in TJ Watt. Game changer. Our record is awful without the guy. So
yeah.
he's the real defense player of the year. So I think
Yeah,
we'll
but
be
Miles Garrett
okay.
blocked an extra point or a field goal.
That is
Just
true.
jumped right
He did
over the
do that.
Oh,
line.
he also had a better pass win percentage. Who had more sacks? That's the name of the game. Let's just be
I
honest.
think I
Who
think
had them?
TJ Watt also had a much higher
TJ.
double team percentage, so there's that too. Uh, yeah,
Thank you.
I'm pretty sure TJ Watt was, and I wanted Miles Garrett to win the deep, but this isn't about that. Aaron, what do you kind of feel as a AFC as a fan of a fellow AFC team? Um, are you worried at all about this Steelers defense and the improvements they've made?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, and the improvements they've made, uh, specifically to their back seven with Patrick Queen and now adding Dante Jackson.
Um, no. I mean, we play the best defenses
That's
year in
true.
and year
That's
out,
true.
whether it's, the 49ers or the Eagles, the
Ravens.
the Ravens this year, you know. So we consistently play teams with good defenses, and that's what comes with being a playoff team. You play other playoff teams. Um, and we've got Patrick Mahomes, so always got to have faith in that. I am looking forward to seeing the brawl every week that comes out of those
Oh,
AFC North matchups. Those
yeah, that's
are
gonna be
always
fun,
so fun, and I think they're just with the
bro.
improvements the Steelers have made. I think it's going to be even more fun this year.
I can't wait to see Patrick Queen go back to Baltimore. That's gonna be chaos.
That's going to be fun.
That's gonna be crazy. Speaking of, the Ravens and, all those heavy hitters up there in the AFC North, arguably the best division in football right now with, three teams that made the playoffs this past year, and the team that didn't make the playoffs made, the Super Bowl 2 years ago. So there's something to be said about that. Um, Joe, do you feel like the Steelers can match up? I mean, maybe like head to head, it's kind of different because you all just beat the shit out of each other every single time. Um, but do you think, record wise, you can keep up with now, Russell Wilson being added and Patrick Queen on the defensive side? You basically got a new captain for each side of the ball now, in a sense. Do you think that the Steelers are going to be able to keep up pace with a team like, the Ravens who have made improvements, like adding Derrick Henry, or, the Bengals who are going to be making improvements just simply by Joe Burrow coming back and being healthy, and we'll see what they get for T. Higgins. And then, of course, who knows what happens with the Browns? They've got one of the best defenses in the league, brought Zadarius Smith back, and,
One of
Deshaun
the best
Watson's
defenses in the league at home.
at home, and Deshaun Watson's a wild card right now. You don't exactly know what you're going to get out of him yet. I mean, we probably not anything good, at least from what we've seen. But yeah, what are kind of your feelings as far as how you stack up against the rest of the teams in that tough division of yours?
Two things. One, I'm excited, but not excited to be going to watch that Derrick Henry game. Like, I don't twice a year to play that guy. We already play a physical game, and now they get that guy behind that physical game to come downhill from 7 yards. Like, no, that's gonna be some old school football, like the football we grew up with, though.
Yeah.
So I'm hyped for that.
The
Second, I want to make
bus.
it clear, I'm not 100% like Russ is the guy right away and everything changes. I'm not on that train. If they start Kenny Pickett, I'm cool with it. I just think that having Russ means Kenny Pickett only gets like 3
A
games,
short
maybe
leash.
4.
Yeah.
Yep, they're very short. But with that being said, do I think we can keep up? Yes, just because of the way the AFC North plays each other. Because so many times in the season they split the series just because it's hard to beat a team twice. Like, I think yes, we can keep up, but the offense it's got to be better than last year. We barely kept up last year, and that was simply because we fired our OC the last couple games.
Right.
But I mean, it's all eyes on the offense. I think everyone knows that around the NFL. Like, if the Steelers have a good offense, now all of a sudden we look like we can contend because we know we have the defense to do it. If our offense is trash again, though, we're as good as making the playoffs possibly again just to get smoked up out the first round and end up with the number 20 something pick again.
Yeah, it's been a cycle of, I don't want to call it, I mean, I guess it is technically mediocrity. Yeah, you've just kind of been hovering around that 6, 7, maybe 5 seed in the AFC for the last, 3, 4, 5 years over there in Pittsburgh, just to get bounced out in the first or second round of the playoffs, and then, like you said, getting a 20-something pick and not being able to draft that next game changer, specifically under center. So I'm excited to see what Russell Wilson can do for y'all. I'd be shocked if he's not starting day one. I don't think you bring in Russell Wilson and sit, even if it is on a vet minimum. I don't think you bring him in if you're going to sit him. I feel like you would be better served maybe drafting a guy like I don't know who might fall to you in that position, kind of like we just mentioned. But maybe you hope for like a Penix or something like that, and then maybe hold off on the Russell Wilson thing for now because I don't know what teams were really clamoring to go out and sign him. Um, I don't know. I guess, Aaron, do you got anything else before we wrap it up? All right. Well, in that case, I think that'll do it for this episode of the most unprofessional sports channel on YouTube, Swivel Chair Sports. I've been your host, Zach Zuckerberg Burkle, here with the host today, Aaron and Joe. Go ahead and say bye, guys.
Bye.
See ya.
All right. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Other than that, deuces.